peachydragon.com. Happy creative stuff.
Hey, and welcome to another exciting episode of Happy Creative Stuff. So what we're going to talk about now is still about the 3D Powerpuff Girl Blossom that I did. After I did the maps, I've shown you how to do mapping and I've shown you what they do. So let's go into a bit more detail about the animated mapping, because the way I wanted to animate it is I wanted to use the stills and just put a video. Instead of the still, you put a video onto the model and that will animate for you. So let me show you the process that I used. The first thing I did was I needed to find the footage that I wanted to use, because you need sound in your animation. So I took an episode called Bubble Vicious and I cut together a few clips, which is what I used. I'm going to play this one in its entirety, and then for the next ones we won't play the whole thing every time. Check it out.
Professor? What's the matter? Alright girls, that's the last of the finishing touches. If we had some real talent, we could raise money, but we don't. I'll get it! Hello, Mayor?
Blossom, I need your help!
So what I did was I used pretty much a random collection of clips and I put them together in a way so that we could go through different emotions, see different mouth expressions, different eye expressions, ones that I really like. Now the trick with 3D Studio Max is you can't just drop any kind of video in there. You're still going to use the bitmap slot, you're still going to pick bitmap, but you can use AVI or MOV. I used QuickTime MOV because I wanted to be able to make it any size. I don't want to be conformed to specific video sizes that are standard. So on the MOV you can make it 2000 pixels by 2000 pixels, which is what I did. And let me show you the different, first just the maps that I created, and then we'll show you the animated ones. So, you can get past this program today. So the face maps all look roughly like this. I had to create all the different mouths in Photoshop, and the eyes I created, but in After Effects I would later take them out and just do the different mouths. This is what the displacement maps look like. So essentially I did a negative displacement that pushes into the model. So where it's white is the deepest it'll push in, and then for the tongue I had to make it slightly lighter or darker so it wouldn't push in as much, and then give it a gradient so the tongue will gradually push into it. And let me show it. Let's go through. I'm just going to keep scrolling until we find, actually maybe that's okay. So there's another displacement map, and there you've got, I think, do I have any other ones in here? Oh, the other ones I created in After Effects. Now that I think about it, they weren't 2D. So let me jump to After Effects and let me show you exactly how I did this. I'm just going to resize this window a little. Maybe I should have done this before I started recording, so I apologize. Okay, so what you do is you take your reference material and you pop it in on top. So now I've got it on top. If I scroll through this frame by frame, you can see the expressions changing and you can copy those, and then I match that in my images. So I pull all the images in on different layers and I just turn the opacity on and off. That's exactly what I did. Okay, so let's look at the different maps. We've got the illumination map, which will just be the center of the eyes. I essentially modeled the eyes as separate objects and just put masks on so that there will be a mask when the eyes close, they'll close with it. I animated that once and then it applies to the whole animation. I'm just going to fit these. This is my same thing with the eyes, except I made this black and white. This is the specular map. So this is how bright they shine. So if I scroll through this, you can see it still blinks, they still look around. Let's fit this one. And this is the displacement map. So for these, it's also a series of JPEGs that I used. For the eyes, I put a gradient in the middle so that the eyes would push in on the sides a little bit. I didn't make it white, I didn't want it too deep, and then gradually fade in through the middle. So now let's look at the animated samples of this and you'll see what happens. Okay, so first the displacement map. Some of these are rendered without sound, like this one. So you can see there she's talking, she's moving, it all works perfectly. Skip to the next video.
Professor? What's the matter?
There's my displacement map. You can see she's blinking, it's all gorgeous. There's my specular map.
What's the matter?
next one. Oh, sorry, that was self-illumination. Not this is self-illumination.
Professor,
This is specular. So that's the
Professor?
specular highlight.
what's the matter?
How the light will bounce off the eyes. And I think that was the
Professor?
last one. And then for one segment of the animation, I rendered out all the maps side by side so you can really see what's happening. So at this stage you can't see me because the screen real estate is more important. Let me play this. I'm going to let it run twice and you can really see what it does.
If we had some real talent, we could raise money, but we don't. I'll get it!
So here you can see on the top left you've got the diffuse, then you've got the displacement, then you've got the specular highlights, and then you've got the self-illumination. And on the top right you can see the original animation, see where I got the reference, and then the final result.
If we had
So anywhere I pause, in theory, we should get exactly, let me just close some notifications here, we should
That's
get
a real
exactly the
talent.
same frame,
talent, we could raise
and that's pretty cool to
money,
look at.
but we don't. I'll get it! If we had some real talent, we could raise money, but we don't. I'll get it!
If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, tell us what you think, click the like button below. Otherwise you can follow us and send us messages on our Facebook pages. We've got 2 of them, our Twitter, the Instagram, the YouTube channel, or our traditional websites if you like that kind of thing.
This video is awesome. peachydragon.com. Happy creative stuff.